You all must be familiar with the saying, it's a man's world. But whoever came up with that saying, who made it this way? Isn't it meant to be a man's and a woman's world? After all, the world is occupied by both men and women, right? The topic for today promises to be hot, controversial, and interesting on the grill. A few months ago on the grill, we talked about feminism. Now, today, we're going to be looking at patriarchy. Patriarchy is a social system in which men hold primary power and predominate in roles of political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. It is associated with a set of ideas that justifies this dominance and attributes it to the inherent natural differences between men and women. Some people have used it to describe patterns derived from the structure of the family, which clearly states that the man is the head, while others see it as an entire system of oppression for women. Sociologists hold varied opinions on whether patriarchy is a social product or an outcome of innate differences between the sexes. The sociologist Sylvia Wilby defines patriarchy as a system of social structures and practices in which men dominate, oppress, and exploit women. Social stratification along gender lines in which power is predominantly held by men has been observed in most societies. We can overemphasize these facts, as in practice most societies are patriarchal. Patriarchy has manifested itself in the social, legal, political, religious, and economic organization of a range of different cultures. Till date, a lot of people still believe a woman has no business in politics or she shouldn't be getting promoted in work over men even when she deserves it. Ridiculous, isn't it? Also, a lot of men get away with actions that a woman would definitely be crucified for. That being said, let's find out from people online what they think of patriarchy and if they feel it is necessary for societal development. Joel says patriarchy is a system in which men hold power and dominate in roles of politics, leadership, authority, social privilege, and control of property. Patriarchal society perpetuates toxic masculinity, which perpetuates sexual assault, sexual aggression, substance abuse, negative mental health, domestic violence, and negative parenting techniques and expectations. Blessing says it's not really necessary for societal development because development isn't limited to a particular gender according to my own perspective. Its contribution can either be negative or positive depending on the angle you're seeing it from. Jesus says patriarchy is a system where men are the head, e.g. family and government. Well, in our society today, I believe the women are not to be excluded in contributing, whether in the family or in the government. Look at our women in our society today, doing greatly and more. So I think it has to be shared to the men and women. All the same, the men play a major role in the society and in the government. A.Y. Dispenza says patriarchy to me is simply a society that is male-dominated, falls under the rule of the men over women or children. In a nutshell, it is a men's society rule. Patriarchy to the society has good and bad sides. Things get done faster and more efficiently due to the logic over emotions and biological male strength over that of females. The bad side is that it doesn't consider the women or children who most times bear the brunt of the men's decisions and actions. For instance, females suffer the more during wars, famine, and pandemic, which are most times resultant of men's action and inactions. Necessary for development? An emphatic yes to that. History bears witness. Agamemnon is credited for uniting the whole of Greece at cost of war though. Greece is developed and thriving now. David in the Bible had the foresight to bring back the Ark of God to Israel, hence their development. George Washington is instrumental to the unity of USA. Mahatma Gandhi will never be forgotten in the development of India. Nelson Mandela is instrumental to the sovereignty and emancipation of South Africa. Martin Luther King Jr. cannot be ignored in the fight against racism. Alright guys, that's all on the topic for today. If you'd like to add your quota, feel free to do that in the comment section or you can just send me a DM on any of my social media accounts. So, let's go straight to my top 5 for today. My top 5 for today is going to be quite different from other things I've been doing before. This time around, I'm going to be celebrating professions and fields in which women are going into these days. Professions that used to be, seen as only something men could do and not done by women. These days, men and women are now taking over. Yeah, right. So let's go take a look at my top 5 professions that women are now into. At number 5 is welding. Although women make up only about 5% of the welding workforce, it is both exciting and empowering to see them in it. As the sparks fly and the heat turns up, welders are able to transform some of the world's strongest materials into the shapes and products they envision. This skill requires work and practice to acquire, and it's best learned with the assistance and guidance of industry professionals. Number 4, a mechanic. Ever seen a female mechanic before? Well, if you haven't, then you will be thrilled if you finally see one, for they are skilled in repairing and maintaining vehicle engines and other machinery as men. A mechanic is an artisan, skilled tradesperson, or technician who uses tools to maintain, build, or repair machinery. Number 3, shoemaking. A lot of ladies have become bosses of their own now through making of footwears. At number 2 is the job of a construction worker. The term is a broad generic one with different specific level and type, but it sure warms the heart to see women in this field. A construction worker is someone who is employed as part of a construction crew and will perform many tasks that often involve physical labor on construction sites. Construction laborers and helpers typically do the following: clean and prepare construction sites by removing debris and possible hazards, load and unload building materials to be used in construction, build or take apart bracing, scaffolding, and temporary structures. Women are not playing at all when it comes to breaking stereotypes, as can be seen in my number 1 job, which is carpentry. It is a skilled trade and a craft in which primary work performed is the cutting, shaping, and installation of building materials. This job can be very hectic, so you think only men can handle it? Think again. And it's a wrap on the grill for today. I'll see you next time on this same channel. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that. Feel free to like, comment, and share. Also, I remain Hilda Elias, and I love you all so much. Bye.